Happy holidays, Rob, and welcome to the 2017 Foster Farms Bowl on Fox. Perfectly crisp night here for football with a temperature in the low 50s. And Purdue and Arizona ready to face off. Two good surprises this season. Arizona bouncing back from that 3-9 campaign a year ago. And Purdue in the first year under Jeff Brom charging to its first bowl in 5 years.
Now taking a video of the visitors for tonight's game.
Arizona taking the field first for its 5th bowl trip in 6 seasons under Rich Rodriguez. We're thrilled you're with us. We say welcome inside. Joe Davis with Brady Quinn. Bruce Feldman joins us in a moment. Brady, Arizona's season completely changed when Khalil Tate took over at quarterback in early October.
It all happened in Boulder, Colorado. When he came in relief for Brandon Dawkins, their quarterback, he took off, and all of a sudden he became a Heisman candidate. This Arizona football team entered the college football playoff rankings. The young man averages a first down per carry. It's ridiculous. He's the first quarterback in Pac-12 history to rush for over 1,000 yards. He has been phenomenal this season, but it's partially because of their scheme. They use 2 tight end sets often to help Tate get to the outside, and once he gets to the perimeter, he turns on the afterburners because he's got the speed to hit the home runs. And then really it's the passing game off of that. So many people are so concerned with Tate keeping the football. It opens up the tight ends and wide receivers down the field for the big plays. He is going to be tough to stop tonight, Joe.
One of the top 10 offenses in the country, these Arizona Wildcats. Now Purdue. They're 3-5 at the end of October. Bowl game didn't look like a possibility at that point, but they win 3 of their last 4 to reach their first bowl game since 2012. Well ahead of schedule in the first year under Jeff Brom. Brom came over from Western Kentucky where the offenses were dominant, but this team, this group, the defense, way improved from a year ago.
And it's been their rush defense in particular. They were 115th last year. They're a top 30 rush defense this year. They're making teams one-dimensional. They're making them go the long, hard way to try to get points, and they're playing much better red zone defense. I think they're up for the challenge tonight of trying to stop this Arizona offense and Khalil Tate.
We are ready to go in the Foster Farms Bowl. Down to the field, Bruce Feldman.
Joe, Purdue has some experience facing great dual-threat quarterbacks. They opened the season against Louisville's Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson, who put up his usual gaudy numbers, but he actually didn't break a run longer than 15 yards all night. Boilermaker defensive coordinator Nick Holt told me you get some different problems when you face Khalil Tate in that he's fast too, but he's a stronger runner, and Arizona does a lot more design runs for the quarterback. He goes, this is like playing against 12 guys, and he's such a fantastic player. We better be ready or it's going to get real ugly. And that Louisville-Purdue game, that's the one Tate has studied the most. He told his coaches, they're going to try and play me the way they played Lamar. They're going to try to spy me, and I got to be aggressive, and I cannot be timid tonight.
And Bruce, that main course tonight of Arizona's offense against Purdue's defense comes up first. Purdue won the toss and deferred to the second half, so Spencer Evans sends it away, and off we go in the Foster Farms Bowl. It's a line drive kick taken by Tyrell Johnson. Johnson cut down shy of the 20 with a special teams tackle from Antonio Blackman. And Arizona's offense, which averages more than 300 rushing yards per game, more than 40 points per game, gets ready for its first series with Khalil Tate at quarterback.
It all surrounds Khalil Tate. I mean, he's really the engine that makes this offense go. You heard Bruce Feldman talk about it a minute ago as far as his preparation for this game, thinking that they're going to play him similar to Lamar Jackson, and then they will. But I think the difference is Khalil Tate's a much more physical runner when you see him get into the open field.
He starts with Nick Wilson behind him at running back. And they hand it off to the motion man, Shun Brown. Shun Brown with a pickup of 7 or 8. Bryce Wolma with a nice block out in front.
Wolma, one of the tight ends that Arizona's using. And it's one of the differences in previous years, Joe. You didn't see them throw to their tight ends as much. Wolma's got 28 receptions so far on this season. That's kind of rare, at least in the last few years for Arizona.
Back-to-back run plays. Wilson hit at the line of scrimmage and toppled. by Marcus Bailey, and an early third down for the Wildcats.
Marcus Bailey, along with the rest of the linebacker group for Purdue, have been phenomenal this year. Ask Marcus Bailey to do a bunch of different things. He'll be split out, covering a slot wide receiver at times, sometimes rushing, but he's been the best rushing off the edge. Leads the team in sacks.
This is your typical Arizona team in that they move fast. Right back on the ball for a 3rd and 2. First run for Khalil Tate, and it goes nowhere. After a big first down gain, it turns into a 3 and out. Jacob Thieneman, the junior safety, comes up with a tackle.
Thieneman, number 41. He's in charge of getting the entire defense lined up, and he sniffed us out right away, but really it's all the bodies around the line of scrimmage for Purdue. If you look at the last 4 games for Arizona, they went 1-3 in those games. Not as much production from the offense. That's been in part because everyone's been so aggressive at stacking the box, stopping the run, and forcing Khalil Tate to try to beat him with his arm.
3 run plays on that first series. The punt team comes out. It has been a revolving door for Purdue as far as the punter goes this year. And then Jake Ladding handles this one with a fair catch taken by Jackson Anthrop at the 40-yard line. So Purdue offense under Jeff Brom, known for a lot of points, but also known for a lot of gadgets under Coach Brom.
All sorts of trick plays, and you see the double reverse tossback throwback where Blau ends up finding what was Cole Herdman earlier this year versus Ohio University. They like to run the flea flickers. They even run sometimes a fake flea flicker off of it, and they typically do it in the first quarter or the first half of games to try to keep defenses on their toes. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't run something early here in tonight's game.
Elijah SIndelar, their sophomore quarterback, has had a great finish to the season. He's got a strong arm, but he's off the mark with his first toss tonight, intended for Gregory Phillips. His 8th start of the year, split time with David Blau over the first 2 months before Blau's season-ending injury in early November. But the numbers, especially since Blau went down and he's not looking over his shoulder anymore, really good. There's 7 touchdowns and 1 pick. Back-to-back low throws out of the gate tonight, 2nd or 3rd and 10.
You always have that gap in between when you play your last game, which was for Purdue versus Indiana, and then that bowl game. And even though you practice a bunch and Purdue only utilized 12 of the 15 practices they're allotted, it still takes you a little bit to get back into the flow of playing in games and dealing with that adrenaline rush.
And Purdue's defense forced a 3 and out. Arizona's D trying to do the same. Bright future for this Arizona defense. 5 freshman starters on it. They drop 8 into coverage on 3rd and 10, and SIndelar finds Gregory Phillips for a Purdue first down. Pushed out of bounds inside Arizona territory on a gain of 17.
It's all about the eyes and the vision. As SIndelar goes back, he waits for Phillips to get into the window and delivers downfield. This has been the biggest difference in this offense since SIndelar's taken over. They stretch the field more, the downfield passing game.
They look to throw it again. It's Phillips again. Breaks a tackle at Jace Whitaker and fights his way for another first down. The 5th-year senior out of Atlanta, Georgia, playing his final game at Purdue. One of the captains of the offense with back-to-back catches.
And another throw on first down. They started this series doing that. They did it right there. That's been a difference too, is throwing the football more on first down, helping SIndelar get into a rhythm earlier in games.
Markel Jones, first run. He gets a yard. 2nd and 9.
Sometimes you get a little bit easier coverage to utilize those one-on-one matchups on the outside, and it's been one of the differences. We talked with head coach Jeff Brom about getting SIndelar into a flow early in games, and just finding some of those easy completions and then building to take shots downfield to a guy like Anthony Mahungu, who's really come on the last 3 weeks since SIndelar's taken over.
21 in black to the top of your screen. Defended right now by Jace Whitaker. Looking in his direction, and instead of going over the top, they throw the speed out. He makes a miss. He takes it to the end zone for the Purdue touchdown. The Boilermakers waste no time jumping in front here in the Foster Farms Bowl.
And this is all about timing and rhythm. SIndelar plants his back foot, the ball's out to the outside, and Mahungu makes a miss in the open field. That's in part because this Arizona secondary plays so soft on the outside. It allows that cushion, and you look at a wide receiver like Anthony Mahungu, who's 6'3", 210 pounds. He's physical enough to beat a defender and get in the end zone.
Mahungu has really come on over the last month and a half of this season or so. There was a time where it looked like he was going to lose his job. Started losing reps. But he took off with a new opportunity because of injury in October and then into November. And he's got a touchdown on Purdue's first drive of this one from SIndelar, who's settled in after a couple of misfires to start the game. Elijah SIndelar missed his first 2 throws, hit his next 3, and the third one went to Anthony Mahungu for a 31-yard touchdown. Purdue trying to stay perfect this year when scoring on its opening drive. Cedric Peterson back with Tyrell Johnson. Short kick. It's Peterson. Peterson with a nice run back across the 30. It's Arizona back on offense. They're picked to finish dead last in the Pac-12 and got off to a 2-2 start with the losses against Houston and against Utah, but then won 4 straight with Khalil Tate taking over in early October, winning 4 consecutive Pac-12 Player of the Week awards. Struggled though in November, 1-3 to finish 7-5. So had a good feeling to finish what has overall been a good year.
They beat expectations, but again, you go back to their opening drive. Defense have been much more aggressive. They're going to have to open things up in the passing game if they want to have success tonight.
Arizona giving it another try. Khalil Tate off play action is flushed out of the pocket by Antoine Miles, throws across his body and finds Sean Brown for a first down in Purdue territory. You hear all about him as a runner. He is underrated as a thrower.
And this is where Khalil Tate is special. Watch him as he releases down. He's going to eventually keep his eyes downfield. He's going to find Brown coming all the way across the field. And that's really who he looks for once the play breaks down. It's Sean Brown, who seems to always find his way to Tate.
Fakes one way, goes the other. Tate trying to get outside. He's able to, getting close to a first down. Thieneman angles him out. They spot him a yard short, 2nd and 1.
It's one of those design quarterback runs for Khalil Tate. There's some misdirection with it, but really it's set up for him to be more decisive. You talked to head coach Rich Rodriguez, who said that's when he's at his best, when he's got the design run where we take out some of the reads and some of those elements, and we just let him use his athletic ability.
Wilson cuts it against the grain, running with a purpose for a first down to the 30. And Nick Wilson with a first down gain of 10. Rich Rodriguez will like. 5th bowl trip in 6 seasons as the head man. 325 rushing yards per game for Arizona. That's number 3 in the country, behind only Army and Navy. On 1st and 10 from the 31. Tate fakes it, rolls and throws to a wide open Poindexter for the Arizona touchdown. Blown coverage from Purdue, and Arizona's offense wakes up to the tune of a 31-yard touchdown.
We talked about this in the document. This is what happens when you run the football effectively. Watch the eyes of the secondary. Everyone's kind of looking to see if it's going to be Khalil Tate to the outside, and instead it ends up being Poindexter running free with no one in coverage. And also, when you look at who that safety is, that's TJ Jallo. He came in for the injured Jacob Thieneman. So you got to wonder if Thieneman's in there, is that play effective?
Yeah, we just talked about what he brings, is that he's kind of the guy that steadies things on the back end. One play after he goes out, Arizona goes in. Poindexter really coming on for these Wildcats. We're tied at 7. Both teams did on Sunday, part of their sightseeing tours as part of the bowl trip. You ever been?
No, I've been dying to go. Hopefully I get a chance one of these times to come out to the Bay Area.
Couple 31-yard touchdown passes in this game. First one came from Purdue, the next one from Arizona. They're tied at 7, and the Boilermakers will have it at the 25. Purdue back on offense. The Princeton, Kentucky native Elijah SIndelar. He fakes to Markel Jones. Against a rusher, dumps it off. Colin Schooler closes and makes the tackle. The Pac-12 Defensive Freshman of the Year, Schooler. True freshman at Dana Point, California. And there is Jeff Brom. In his first season after the 3 years where he won 30 games at Western Kentucky. Gregory Phillips gets blasted by Jace Whitaker. Arizona's defense starting to fly around, and it's 3rd and long.
Making better open field tackles. If you go back to Purdue's touchdown drive, really it was the missed tackles on the outside. Now they're wrapping up, they're rallying to the football and making plays.
Showing pressure on 3rd and long here. And there's Purdue doing what they often do, check to the sideline after the defense shows its hand. They're bringing 5. SIndelar steps up and finds a window close to the marker to Bryson Hopkins. We'll see where they spot him as Fields and Young quickly closed on him. Looks like they're spotting him a little bit short.
It's good to see Bryson Hopkins back out there. He was dealing with a back injury for a few weeks. Looks like he's going to be short, and they're going for it.
Without hesitation. And they're not going to get it. Markel Jones lost a couple of yards. That defensive front coming up big. DeAndre Miller, the 5th-year senior, with a tackle, and Arizona takes over.
Sometimes you rush up to the line of scrimmage to try to get lined up, and the defense doesn't really get lined up so you can identify who has who. And in that case, the guy who just caught the pass to put them within 4th and inches ends up allowing DeAndre Miller to get inside and make the play.
The coordinator Marcel Yates loves it.
He's fired up, but he dialed up a number of pressures on that last series too to help turn up the heat.
Gotta love that play for DeAndre Miller there. Been a frustrating year for the senior. Lost his job. What a big 4th down stop. Here comes Tyrell Johnson, breaking a couple of tackles and getting 7. Jacob Thienemann's back in the game and has the tackle.
Well, and to that point, you know, the Arizona defense has struggled this year, but they're young. And I think the difference has been the turnovers they've generated, particularly interceptions, but being able to force a stop on 4th down is just as good as getting a turnover.
2nd and short. J.J. Taylor is swallowed up. Lost at least 1. 3rd down for Arizona in a 7-7 game in the closing minutes of the first.
This is where Khalil Tate is still very much a part of the run game. This may be 4th down territory for Arizona as well. But here's the thing, look at the box. Look how many bodies are around the line of scrimmage. You got one-on-one coverage with no safety help.
See if they take a shot. They will. Down the seam. It is another touchdown for Arizona. This time Tony Ellison taking advantage in one-on-one, beating Nevon Mosley to give the Cats their first lead of the night.
We just talked about a one-on-one coverage with no help. He gets a good release. See how he sticks him to the inside and goes to the outside of Mosley, and then it's just a tremendous ball by Tate with enough trajectory to the outside where Mosley can't make a play on the football. It's the 4th touchdown catch for Ellison this season. That's huge, and that's the way you capitalize off of getting a 4th down stop like Arizona's defense did.
Khalil Tate can really run. He has a cannon. You see in the short range throws how hard he can throw it. Rich Rod said the thing that sets him apart is that unlike a lot of guys that have cannons, he knows how to put that touch on it when he needs to. He does here. And it gives Arizona the lead, 14-7, back in 30 seconds.
If they're playing zone, they try to attack those safeties because Arizona feels like that's where the mismatch is, and they can't cover a lot of their speedier wide receivers.
The touchback for Haversick. As a team, they ran for 272 in that game. It's a little backwards from what Jeff Brom prefers his offense to be, but if it's there, they'll take it. Cole Herdman back in the game with that sore hamstring, able to pull this one in and then cut down by Flanagan Fowles. Slow getting up.
He's right here, and he's going to release through, and watch the eyes of the linebackers. See how they get sucked up on the play action fake, and they're in behind. It's Herdman for the big catch. It's always the toughest part, though. Those throws across the middle. You've got the safeties just kind of sitting there flat-footed. A lot of times they're coming up to make those tackles, and they go low because, look, you can't go high. You get called for targeting. So then you go low, and all of a sudden it ends up hurting a player where you're taking out his knees. Kind of can't win.
29th consecutive game with a catch. Cole Herdman. First down and 10 from the 40. SIndelar to the sideline. That's pulled in. And a gain of 5 by Gregory Phillips. Second down.
Getting a little chippy out there. DJ Knox and Tony Fields were kind of battling. Excuse me. It's Markel Jones, but that's what happens. A lot of times you spend a bowl week in the same area for a number of days. Kind of cross paths, see each other. Sometimes there's a little bit of talking going on back and forth.
Faking the toss and throwing to Jackson Anthrop, who slipped one man and got a couple of yards. Third down.
And here's kind of a little back and forth. That's what happens, though. You go to a bunch of events together. You're hanging out. Maybe there's some free time where you cross paths. And don't get it twisted. There's some trash talking going on.
Start getting some West Side Story stuff going.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. And Lombard Street, lead at the top.
Jackson Anthrop's been quiet so far today. He's a guy they like to target a lot on third down.
Instead they run it, and Jones shifts his way for a first down. Markel Jones finding the hole and squirting through it for a gain of 11. Talked about that game against Indiana that Jones had. 217 yards. That almost doubled his total from the first 11 games of the year. So he dealt with a knee injury early and then needed both Tario Fuller and Richie Worship to run into some injury problems to get back into the rotation. Takes the fake on 1st and 10, and SIndelar scans the field, unloads downfield. What a catch! And a touchdown for Gregory Phillips.
This is all Phillips working to the middle of the field. It's at Anthrop on the inside to take away the safety, and it allows the one-on-one. And really, it's going to be a question of whether or not he ended up getting in. It looks like it's clearly a catch, and as he is being pulled towards the end zone, I think he crosses the plane. I think that's going to be a touch, and that should stand. What a response, though, by this Purdue offense.
Brady Dellinger adds the extra point. We've got a good one going in the Foster Farms Bowl. 8 consecutive completions from Elijah SIndelar. This one to Gregory Phillips back in 30 seconds. Tyrell Johnson takes a knee. Brown comes in motion here. They come downhill with J.J. Taylor. And Taylor charges forward for 8. We talked about Tate taking over in October. How about what he did right after taking over? Set an FBS quarterback record in that first game with 327 rushing yards and started a string where he won 4 consecutive Pac-12 Player of the Week honors.
He was a legitimate Heisman candidate at that point. I mean, he really bursted onto the scene, and he talked about how it was tough dealing with all the attention. All of a sudden, everyone was telling him how good he was, how good looking he was, telling him how good he smells. And he said, I wasn't even wearing cologne, but people would be telling him that in class.
Sense natural. 3rd and short. They bring Zach Green into the game at running back. A 230-pound bruiser.
It's like the wing tee from shotgun.
Green's got it, and a first down. It's what he does. He's carried it 65 times this year, scored 11 times because so many of those touches come around the goal line. Another 5th-year senior from Miami.
Saw him in the elevator. We're staying at the same hotel as Arizona. He's the type of guy that you could imagine he can churn out a lot of those tough yards. We talked about his weight. I mean, he is very stout, very powerful, strong runner. Keeps his shoulder pads parallel to the line of scrimmage and keeps driving through initial contact.
Closing seconds of an entertaining first quarter. Taylor. Nothing. 14-14 after 15 in the Foster Farms Bowl. We're back to Santa Clara in just a moment. Welcome back to the 2017 Foster Farms Bowl on Fox. The entertaining first 15 minutes, locked at 14. What'd you think?
It's been fun. You know, coming into this game, you got two of the best offensive minds in college football, and Rich Rodriguez and Jeff Brom, extended period of time to prepare. So kind of expected that there were going to be some fireworks early.
And after Khalil Tate and Arizona's offense struggled on the first couple of drives, they've picked things up. He's perfect through the air so far. He takes off here and gets lassoed down by Juwan Bentley. Leading tackler, senior linebacker, with a stop here.
Bentley back after missing a couple games, maybe not quite 100%, but he sure looks close to it right there. Talk about in the open, the difference in this defense. It's partially been the linebacking core too. Bentley, Bailey, McCollum, all those guys have been phenomenal this year.
That sets up a 3rd and 6. They bring 4. It's picked up, so Tate with time. Yeah, now we'll float it out of bounds. His first incompletion will bring the punt team onto the field. Go back to that second down play on Bentley's tackle. Was there any face mask here missed? Looks like
Clearly looks like he's grabbing and pulling him down to the ground. Biggest question would be, and that's probably for Mike Pereira, why didn't that warrant a flag, Mike?
Well, I think it did. Sometimes when you see that, especially when it's in the middle of the field, you don't get a look, you don't get an angle, but we saw it on the live shot. That is enough to call a face mask foul.
Planning to punt it. And Anthrop with the fair catch. Hope you're enjoying your holiday season. Still sitting around with family. Glad you're spending tonight with us. Taking a break. Back in a moment. Rob, that Missouri team that's won 7 in a row. Purdue went into Columbia this year and whooped them 35-3.
Completely different Missouri team, though, at the end of the year. I believe they won their last 4 games in the SEC. And Drew Lock, their quarterback, he was on fire.
First down from the 32. Markel Jones on first down for 2.
Colin Schooler got there in a hurry.
Good player, huh?
Oh, he's a tremendous player, already receiving so much attention. People are comparing to Scooby Wright, who was an All-American. He said, I don't necessarily deserve that praise yet, but eventually I'll take that claim.
Wahogu quickly tackled by Jace Whitaker. They have 60 newcomers on this Arizona roster. 22 freshmen on the 2D. And in this defense alone, we talked about it earlier, but 5 freshman starters who have pretty much been in there all season.
And then you've got a mix of 5th-year seniors. It's quite the mix of youth and then experience. 5th-year guys like Luca Bruno, Parker Zellers, Wayne Crookshank, guys who've been around the program for a while.
Markel Jones has a first down. They run it on 3rd down and 4 and pick it up with a gain of 6. Jones again as a hold and crosses midfield. Tony Field stops him. 2nd and 4.
This offensive line starting to take over now for Purdue as they pick up their tempo running the football. It's all really led by their center, Kirk Barron. He's the guy who sets everything up, IDs the middle linebacker in the blocking scheme for the O-line, helps get that initial push.
Jones again gets a couple more. 3rd and short. Barron, the team captain out of Mishawaka, Indiana. This offensive line has been solid this year.
Well, the key is that left tackle. They had Grant Hermans, but he went down with an injury earlier this season. Eric Swingler stepped in and done an admirable job at left tackle. But it took away an additional package where they brought in an additional tackle to play an eligible tight end. That used to be Eric Swingler, and because of the lack of depth on the offensive line, they've kind of done away with that. And typically they use it in short yardage scenarios like this.
If they ride that line on 3rd and 1, they look to Jones, got hit at the line of scrimmage and didn't get it. Somebody came flying through there. Tony Fields to get credit for the stop. And 4th down and 1.
This is the issue when you don't follow your blockers. In that case, they pulled Matt McCann, the right guard. Michael Jones decided to make a backside cut where he saw daylight, but there's going to be someone there who's not accounted for. I think if he would have been more patient, pressed the front side, there was a better chance that he was going to be able to make the 1st down.
Boilermakers went for it on 4th down and 1 earlier, didn't get it. 4th down and 1 in Arizona territory. Trying it again. Markel Jones again with a much different result. 1st down Purdue inside the 25. Over a gaping hole on the right side for 24.
They utilize all sorts of different schemes. It's a pin and pull. Watch as they block down. You see Matt McCann help open up the hole on the right side, and there is no one there in the back end. Very lucky. It looked like it was Dane Cruikshank that was able to get back and make the tackle. Otherwise, Jones in the end zone.
Jones on the sideline getting a rest. DJ Knox comes on. SIndelar rolls right. Throws left. Wants Hopkins incomplete. Cruikshank broke it up. 2nd and 10.
Oh, so close. Obviously trying to set up a throwback to their tight end. Credit Dane Cruikshank, 5th-year senior, who's playing that spur position for Arizona. He's moved around a little bit, got invited to the East-West Shrine game where he's got an opportunity to showcase his skills to NFL scouts.
SIndelar has it knocked down to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10.
And it looked like that was number 8, Trevor Wood, who kind of moonlights as tight end, defensive end. You talked to defensive coordinator Marcel Yates. He said, I'd like to steal him for my defense.
For good.
Well, he's 6'6", 260 pounds. And you can see he's got the athleticism. He understands exactly what to do if he doesn't get to the quarterback. Put those big long arms up, bat the football down. But Marcel Yates thinks he could really be a difference maker for this defense if he had a full year. We have off-season 2 to help prepare him.
Yeah, and he thinks week 1 next year there's a good chance that Trevor Wood will be the starting DN. SIndelar lets it fly. He's got another touchdown to Gregory Phillips. What a day the 5th-year seniors have it. No touchdowns in the regular season. 2 in the 1st half of the Foster Farms Bowl.
This is just a well-designed play. Once he stops here, watch how the defense, everyone's going to be attracted to Pittman, number 81. It helps open up the hole in the back end for Phillips. And he makes the catch. It's a well-thrown football that allows Phillips to make the catch and run and get past the Arizona secondary. And this is really where they've struggled, Joe. I mean, they've given up a lot of yards, a lot of points. They've been good getting turnovers and interceptions, lead the Pac-12, but just had a hard time getting stops.
Takes advantage. You mentioned J.J. Taylor's roughing the punter. They gave Purdue added life. They went for it on 4th and 1. Markel Jones hit the hole hard, and moments later, Elijah SIndelar with his 3rd touchdown pass of the 1st half. Heck of a Foster Farms Bowl going on Fox. Bowl week's got to be a fun, memorable week, right?
Oh, it's incredible, and especially for the guys who this is their last game playing college football. Some who don't get the opportunity to play in the NFL. You know, you create those memories. You know, hanging out with your brothers, hanging out with the guys on your team that you've grown up through college and that whole life experience with. So it's always a neat time.
For these guys, these 2 teams get to come do it in a great city like San Francisco, and then down here to Santa Clara for the ball game. Spencer Evans will kick it. Fun bowl week, and so far a fun bowl game. Tyrell Johnson from the 10. He's one of those guys playing in his final game. A senior out across the 35 with a flag in late. 3rd down 17 now, on the verge of a 3 and out right after Purdue retook the lead. Tate steps up, finds a window for a 1st down. Tony Ellison on 3rd and 17 gets 27.
It's Navon Mosley that they're going to be picking on. They already threw a touchdown on him earlier in tonight's game. And then this time it's just Khalil Tate stepping up, finding time, and Mosley just loses Ellison in coverage.
Nick Wilson on first down.
It's the tough part, though, for anyone who faces this Arizona offense is once things break down, Khalil Tate can hurt you in a number of ways. Obviously running the football, but he can buy time and he can find ways of fitting throws into windows.
I think a lot of D coordinators will tell you they'd much rather face a stationary guy, even if he has a chance to pick you apart. It's so hard when guys like Tate extend the play the way he does.
These are the matchups they're looking at. That's a safety working on the slot wide receiver right here, and that's why they're trying to take advantage of a lesser coverage player.
Tate has it here. Sticks his nose down for 3 or 4.
I think part of that comes with maturity. And Khalil Tate's young. He's what, 19 years old right now?
Just turned 19.
We had their game last year versus USC when he was 17. He got his first start. So understanding the importance of practice and the process of all of it, I think, comes with maturity. And I think it also is tough when you're talking about a young man who's trying to figure out how you manage your time with school and everything else while being the starting quarterback. That's part of the process as well.
They converted a 3rd and 17 earlier on this drive, and on 3rd and 9 they'll try to pick it up again with a deep ball to Ellison. A lot of contact, but no call. And Tony Ellison was jousting with Smiley. A no flag came. 4th and 9.
Yeah, and again, that's a safety. That's Simeon Smiley, number 29, covering Tony Ellison downfield. And they like that matchup because typically safeties aren't comfortable being in press man-to-man coverage. Usually they'd rather be in off coverage, playing more zone where they can utilize their eyes on the quarterback. Good job there by Smiley, and a bit of an inaccurate ball by Tate downfield.
Gladden. Anthrop bluffs the fair catch, and it bounds into the end zone, setting Purdue up with 6:17 left to go in the first half. The Boilermakers in a bowl game for the first time in 5 years, and trying to cap Jeff Brom's debut season with a win over Arizona in the Foster Farms Bowl. Looking to throw it back. He's got a wide open Jackson Anthrop. Stays on his feet, and Schooler somehow recovers to tackle him on his second try. But it's a gain of 20 and a first down.
This is one of the things that Purdue does so well. It's really they manipulate the field. So they roll one way, then throw back the other, getting you to think that they're only going to utilize one half the field. But mind you, head coach Jeff Brom has other plans. He likes to always try to have some sort of misconception, something else going on in the backfield as far as what they're doing.
You know, the 3 years that Jeff Brom was at Western Kentucky, those 3 years combined, they led the country, scoring 46 points per game. He's a really terrific offensive mind. First down play call here is a run to DJ Knox.
Well, and the other piece is they spread the football around. I mean, when you look at who's caught passes so far tonight, I think it was 7 different receivers or 7 different pass catchers. And all of a sudden, Gregory Phillips, who in his career had 2 receiving touchdowns, already has 2 tonight. That's tough to prepare for.
SIndelar steps up, creating extra time. Mahungu makes the reception to the 22. The native of France climbs the ladder for 35 yards and a Purdue first down.
And this is all possible because of how Elijah SIndelar works the pocket. Watch him step up, gathers himself, keeps his eyes downfield, and gives Mahungu an opportunity to extend and make the play. It's incredible to think about the story of Anthony Mahungu, from where he came from, how he learned about the game of football, and what he's developed into.
This is the game's first 2-score lead off play action. SIndelar scanning the field. He comes underneath to Gregory Phillips, who's been his favorite target today. Phillips has a first down. What a first half for this guy. His 8th catch already.
It's all effort. I mean, it's all the turning of the legs after the play. We're initially trying to get it to the tight end across the middle, but that opened things up for Phillips. It's just all effort after that.
They said first down. They spot him a yard short. 2nd and 1. On his 8th catch of the day, already a career best. DJ Knox cuts it back. He's in for the Purdue touchdown. Everybody getting involved. Knox in from 13.
Arizona gambled, and they lost. And wisely, Knox sees the backside cut. You're going to see the corner blitz, and he doesn't keep contained. And that's the risk that you run when you decide to bring a blitz. Those guys have to hug tighter to the line of scrimmage to not allow the gap in the defense. Good vision by Knox.
For only his second touchdown of the season. Arizona had taken a 14-7 lead in this game. Purdue has ripped off 3 consecutive scores. And already topping its season average for points in a game. Dellinger's extra point is good. And Purdue in front 28-14. Couple of minutes left in this first half. 28-14. Purdue in front with 3 consecutive touchdowns after Arizona had taken the lead. Latest one from DJ Knox. Tyrell Johnson will return this kick. Miles Hoffman handling the kickoff here. Here comes Johnson. Tyrell Johnson across the 30. In a minute 22. Hey, dancing around, lets the blocks develop, gets close to a first down in Boilermaker territory.
Just seldom used. That's his first catch of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's typically what you see, though, this time in bowl games. You work in some of those players. You got additional practices to get them reps and to help prepare them. Simeon Smiley coming off the field.
Played a pretty good first half.
He's come in a lot more often lately as their nickel safety. If they play those 3 safety personnel groupings versus the 3 and 4 wide receiver sets that Arizona plays, it's Thieneman, Mosley, and Smiley who end up coming in playing together.
A minute 8, all 3 timeouts for Arizona. Could really use a touchdown here with Purdue set to get it to begin the second half. He's got room off the left side. Khalil Tate has a first down inside the 35.
And I don't know how you let this happen. Watch, I mean, there's no one for Khalil Tate on the backside. Izuchukwu ends up crashing down, and that should be Thieneman. He's got to be more aggressive coming up to kind of take off the angle for Tate.
The ball came out at the end. Some of the Purdue players were shouting that they should have it.
And Tate's not down. He's obviously on top of his own player. I haven't seen an elbow or knee or...
Wow.
After review, the runner was not down prior to the ball coming loose. It'll be first down Purdue at the 32-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 56 seconds. 56 seconds.
So Navon Mosley just takes it away from Khalil Tate, and Purdue takes it from Arizona.
The first turnover of the game, and look at defensive coordinator Nick Holt. How fired up is he? And then there's the dance by Mosley.
So 56 seconds, Purdue with the ball and a timeout.
Right. And it looks like they're bringing it into formation. That would lead you to think they're just going to kneel on it. But they do have a timeout left, or what, a couple timeouts.
You're always careful with gadgets when it comes to Jeff Brom.
Maybe a trick play.
Yeah, what are we doing when they're going to a kneel down 56 seconds? And you bet it is a trick play. They hand it off to DJ Knox. He gets a first down and more. They fake the kneel down and run for 41 yards. Jeff Brom strikes again.
He's only 5'7", so when he crouches down, he gets lost in behind the offensive lineman, and SIndelar kind of almost makes it look like it's a sprint out. And then it's student body left for the tight ends, and Markel Jones running downfield. What a play design.
First down from the 27-yard line. SIndelar confidently steps up. Dumps it off for DJ Knox. First down inside the 15.
And now this is where you got to make a decision, and they do indeed elect to call the timeout now. With 13 seconds and this close to the end zone, you could probably take a couple of shots. They got to be quick, but it's either got to be out of bounds or in the end zone. Can't afford to take a sack. Can't run the football here either.
First down and 10. They do run it. And Markel Jones is inside the 10. They will use that final timeout now.
Right here. They're the two guys typically they like because of their size and their ability to make the tough catches and use their body.
So perhaps one last look at the end zone. SIndelar for Mahungu. Can't hang on. Whitaker was able to jar it out of there. And they will bring the field goal team out.
And this is a heck of a play by Jace Whitaker. Look at the cushion. So it allows Mahungu, once he gets to the inside, the ball's a little bit behind. See how it forces Mahungu to slow down? If it's to the back end line, I don't know that Whitaker can make this play, and he does just enough to grab the right arm and face mask of Mahungu, but nonetheless, break it up.
So they'll settle for a field goal attempt from Spencer Evans. They basically rotate the kicking duties back and forth between Evans and Dellinger. It's Evans' turn. He comes on and finishes the first half with a field goal. And finishes the highest scoring first half in Foster Farms Bowl history. 45 combined between the teams. Now we get you to Rob Stone in Los Angeles for the State Farm halftime show. It's 31-14, Boilers through 30. Welcome back to the 2017 Foster Farms Bowl on Fox. It's Purdue and Arizona, and after 30 minutes, the Boilermakers out in front 31-14 in a game that was 14-7 at one point. But Purdue really getting it going offensively and taking control of this game and ready to get the ball to begin the second half.
The quarterback we talked about coming into the game was Khalil Tate. I think Elijah SIndelar had a little something to say about that. This game was kind of pitted to be this rushing attack from the Arizona Wildcats versus this Purdue Boilermakers defense, but it's been the offense for Purdue that's come alive so far in this game.
371 yards for the Purdue offense, which will begin the second half at the 25-yard line. Jeff Brown back here in the area where he was an NFL quarterback for a couple of years. Bounced around different practice squads, but active duty with the 49ers a couple of different seasons in the 90s. Toss to DJ Knox, gain of 2.
Look, you're a 500 team. You have the opportunity to either end your last football game for these seniors and guys who are moving on as a winning football team in your last year or a losing football team. And it doesn't sound like much to be on the line, but I mean, that's something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. So, you know, for this Purdue team, I mean, with everything, the way it's gone throughout the course of their career, of course they want to win this one and try to go out in the right way.
SIndelar zips one for a first down to Bryson Hopkins in Arizona territory.
Finally getting something going to the tight ends. Look how tight this window is. You use a switch release to be able to create that space where Hopkins comes back to the inside, but it was all created by Phillips clearing it out in that switch release of both those players.
SIndelar 275 yards trying to add to it. To the sideline he goes. And another completion to Gregory Phillips. It's a little bit chippy. He's been working on Jace Whitaker all evening. Got 10 catches. Came into the game with 30 on the season.
It's incredible. And again, it's all been on, a lot of it's been on first down. And that's been the change for this Purdue offense, is instead of being more of a 50-50 team between running and passing the football on first down, it's been a lot more passing.
SIndelar with his first incompletion, and it was almost an interception for Whitaker. First incompletion on this drive, that is. Whitaker can't get it despite this great effort.
Well, this was almost a tremendous interception by Whitaker, but he just couldn't maintain control and possession of the football as he went to the ground. You can see Purdue's trying to exploit the seams of the defense. It's forcing the cornerbacks to have to overlap. So it's really this part of the field, and it's causing the cornerbacks to have to kind of overlap, which makes it a little bit more difficult in coverage. On
2nd and 10, first run of the second half. Solid gain for Markel Jones down to Bruce.
Joe, I talked to Rich Rodriguez a couple of minutes ago. He said, really, we got to find a way to get pressure on SIndelar, at least getting his vision. He's way too relaxed right now, and that's a problem for us. We got to get some pressure around him.
Yeah, sure has looked comfy.
Well, and that's been an issue for Arizona all year long. That's why defensive coordinator Marcel Yates has to dial up pressures. He's brought in cornerback blitzes, brought in the linebackers at times. Purdue's running a lot of 7-man protections.
Bringing pressure here, throws off his back foot, and it's almost picked off by Crookshank. The Fields was a free rusher, and it sets up for 4th and 6.
And they were looking for a quick answer. And that's the problem. When you start bringing pressure like this, and you've got a free runner as a quarterback, you're thinking that he's going to continue on in his route. Coming to the inside, he's not going to break back out because you don't have time to set your feet and get the ball to him.
A long one coming here for J.D. Dellinger, whose career long is 42. This is from 45. Spencer Evans, a much bigger leg, but it's Dellinger's turn. Not close. And a big stop for Arizona on its first defensive possession of the second half. Now Khalil Tate in the offense will try and get it charged up. Long way to go in this one in a 17-point game. So Arizona trying to steal some of the momentum that Purdue owned late in that first half. Scored 24 unanswered points. But a missed field goal, and the Wildcats take over the 28-yard line. Started the second half with a Khalil Tate run. His stiff arm doesn't get him much. Jacob Thieneman there to guide him out of bounds.
The defensive line for Purdue shifted right before the snap of the football. That's always tough for an offensive line to deal with when all of a sudden you've got to adjust on the run. I think Khalil Tate was a little bit surprised when Jacob Thieneman showed up that quick and was ready to make a tackle.
Against pressure on 2nd and 8, Tate evades the rusher, rolls to his right, and stumbles. Down to Bruce.
Joe, Rich Rodriguez had told me, we got to just get Khalil to really settle down and let the game come to him. He's such a competitor. He keeps trying to do too much. We don't need that. We just need him to relax and just play.
12 carries, 40 yards. That's an average of a little more than 3 per carry. Again, on the season, he averages a first down per run.
We're going to need him to make a play here in 3rd and long.
Numbers through the air. 3rd down and 7. Purdue rushes 4. Tate with time, but tight coverage downfield. Here he is trying to make a play. A flag flies as Poindexter goes up and makes the catch. Took by the reaction of that Arizona bench.
Ruling on the field
Purdue.
is a completed pass. Holding defense number 8. That penalty will be declined. First down.
A big 3rd down pickup.
That's the hard part for any defensive back is once the quarterback leaves the pocket, puts more pressure on you to have to cover downfield. And right here, it happened before actually got outside. Let's see Okonye grab on.
First down from the 44. On the out, it's Ellison. Cut down in midfield. DeJuan Hunt on a gain of 6 or 7.
Talked about it in the first half, but you typically see those completions going to the tight ends as you see Bryce Walmart come into the game, but gotten a lot of gains off of those easy completions to the pass or to the flats with those RPOs to their tight ends. Just haven't seen it much tonight.
Tate to throw. Open man, Tony Ellison. Touchdown, Arizona. His 2nd of the game. This one from 40.
And then this happens. I mean, unbelievable. You're playing so well, but watch both safeties, Thieneman, Mosley. I mean, this has been the entire game. Arizona's trying to exploit both. And I don't know what they saw on that side of the field that would lead them to think that they needed to react like that and why Mosley would leave the middle of the field. But an easy pitch and catch.
And exactly what Arizona needed to open the second half. They get a stop defensively. They get a touchdown offensively. Second one of the day for the junior from Granite Bay, California. And back to a 2-score game in the Foster Farms Bowl. Arizona climbing back in this game with a Khalil Tate touchdown pass to Tony Allison. And he's hit 5 passes tonight, more than 20 yards downfield with some blown coverage in the back end of that Purdue defense.
They were aided by a pass interference call to help.
Touchback will have the drive starting at the 25-yard line. SIndelar attacks the middle of the field again, but Mahungu can't pull it off with the Dak 2nd and 10. You know, Purdue's offense on the season averages less than 400 per game tonight, and we're only midway through the 3rd quarter. Already have more than 400 yards of offense.
Look, the Arizona defense, I mean, they've got the worst pass defense in the Pac-12. They've struggled this year, and right now Elijah SIndelar is picking them apart. He's getting all the time in the world, and when they do decide to blitz, he's getting the ball out quick.
He's got one-on-one with Mahungu to the top, goes in that direction off his hands, and it's picked off. Scotty Young, his first career interception. Mahungu had a chance, then Whitaker had a chance. Young the one that'll come down with it.
And a team that leads the Pac-12 in interceptions this season takes advantage of a misplay by Mahungu. You've got to catch that football, and Jace Whitaker does just enough to tip the football up to Scotty Young, the true freshman out of San Diego, California.
Lead the Pac-12, top 5 in the country in that category. That's 19 picks for this defense. And Marcel Yates, the D coordinator, will quickly point to those takeaways as the biggest difference when these defense has been able to help the Cats win games in this 7-5 year.
Don't be surprised if Arizona doesn't take a shot at some point early in this drive.
How about a trick play on the first play? Tyrell Johnson trying to get around Marcus Bailey, who stayed home and shut it down on the loss of 1.
I can't begin to tell you how good Marcus Bailey has played this year. I mean, they've asked him to do so much. They put him out in space. Let's take a look, though, as it looked like he might have grabbed the face mask. That's a couple of times tonight, but Mike Pereira is saying no.
Helmet. If it's on the side of the helmet like that, doesn't grasp an opening, then it's not a foul.
Here's Tate exploding and sticking the shoulder down into the secondary. They spot him right at the marker. Devon Mosley took the brunt of that hit. It's enough for an Arizona first down.
I think Khalil Tate's letting the game come to him now.
Yeah.
But he's bringing it to the defense.
Rich Rod had told Bruce Feldman at halftime he needed to let the game come to him a little bit more. Taylor with the gain of 1.
Well, and that's the difference, too, between Khalil Tate and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson probably tries to make a defender miss in space like that. Khalil Tate lowers the shoulder. I mean, he almost runs more like a running back once he gets out into the open field. And I think that's the difference between the two when you talk about the type of quarterbacks that Purdue has faced this year.
It was way back week 1 when they saw Lamar Jackson. Tate rolling to his right, sets his feet, lofts one into coverage. Tyrell Johnson, he makes the catch. There is a flag down as Johnson pulls it in. And for the moment, Arizona's back in this game within 4.
Pass interference, defense, number 41. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
In the blink of an eye, they go from perhaps getting blown out of this thing to an extra point from a 3-point game.
And once again, throwing it up, targeting the safeties. They trust their wide receivers against the safeties for Purdue. In that case, Thieneman just couldn't turn around and get a hand in on the football, and credit Tyrell Johnson for being able to adjust his body and make the play.
Tyrell Johnson, who becomes the latest senior, playing his final game in college, getting his first touchdown of the season. The Arizona defense takes it away. Scotty Young Jr. with his first career interception. Tyrell Johnson, not the biggest guy, 5'7", but he throws it up there, and the 5'7" guy comes down with it. We were talking about it during the break. It doesn't necessarily seem like Khalil Tate's played an excellent game, but he's got 4 touchdown passes on 14 of 18, tying a Foster Farms Bowl record with those 4 scores. And a whole lot longer to play in this one. Take the reverse on the return, and Jackson Anthrop steps out of the 27. Got a good one going, 31-28. And Purdue back on offense. It was a 31-14 halftime lead has disappeared. Markel Jones stop and start to let the hole to develop. And I think it's a gain of 3. Clock runs out. We've got a good one going. And we've got a good finish coming in the Foster Farms Bowl. 31-28. Purdue and Arizona on to the 4th. All set for the 4th quarter in the 2017 Foster Farms Bowl on Fox. And a 3-point game after Arizona handled that 3rd quarter, scoring all 14 points. To the ground here, Markel Jones with a nice cut and shifts his way for a 1st down. Didn't look like there was much there, but Jones able to get 9 yards and a Purdue 1st down.
He's an efficient runner, so watch as he hits the hole. Everything's going forward, 1 cut, jump cut back the other way. Extremely efficient. Doesn't waste much time side to side. Breaks those arm tackles.
Jones has 76 yards. Knox has 80. Jones here on 1st down. The minimal gain.
You know, you think at this point in the game, based on how many trick plays we've already seen from Purdue, they can't have much else in the tank. I know it's bowl season. You have plenty of time to prepare. They always got a bunch in their arsenal. I wonder if they just have one more up their sleeve at some point.
I wouldn't put it past him. Past this guy. Arizona shows pressure and brings it from the corner. SIndelar goes the other way with an incomplete pass. Jace Whitaker, who they went after time and time again in the 1st half, has come up big a couple of times here in the 2nd. 3rd and 9.
This is that area of the field, so you got to wonder, as good as your defense has played throughout the game, with the exception of a couple drives out of half, if you're Purdue, is this 4-down territory? Are you thinking, if you're Jeff Brom, of maybe something that could be just short but still be able to go for it on 4th down? They've gone for a number of them tonight.
On 3rd and 9, Elijah SIndelar scans the field underneath. They get a gain of 7 with a nice open field tackle from Tony Fields. As Darius Pittman gets his 1st catch of the night, and it looks like the offense will stay out there for a 4th down and 2 play.
1st catch of the season. Pittman, another true freshman. Talked a lot about true freshmen tonight, mostly for Arizona, but he's got a very bright future.
4th down and 2 for the Boilermakers. SIndelar looks to throw. Out of the backfield, it's Jones. Markel Jones close to the marker. Where will they spot him? With Lorenzo Burns making the tackle. Early indications are short. Jeff Brom all over the officials, thinking that ball spotted about a yard short of where it should be.
An unbelievable play by Lorenzo Burns, the redshirt freshman, to try to make that open field tackle versus Markel Jones, who's got him by at least 30 pounds. And I don't know about that spot. This is going to be tough because they spot it short, but right as he extends, it looks like he's clearly past the marker.
1st down, Arizona.
So Arizona comes up with its 2nd 4th down stop of the night, and in a 3-point game here in the 4th quarter, the Wildcats will have it.
And what a stop by Lorenzo Burns. Talking to the defensive coordinator Marcel Yates, he said, you know, he's not typically the size you'd like for a boundary corner. Typically those guys are a little bit bigger. They get more runs their way. They like to be a little bit more physical. But for the redshirt freshman, he's got a lot of fight. He demonstrated it right there.
Khalil Tate off play action on first down. He gets flushed out of the pocket. He's got room to run. He does, and has 8.
Khalil Tate at one point of this season was a Heisman candidate. For 2018, this is when you start to build your case. Not just what he already did by bursting on the scene earlier this year, but it's this sort of game that can kind of catapult him into the race early on next season.
I'm upset about something clock related. Taylor into the arms of Marcus Bailey, finishing forward for what looks like it'll be enough for a first. And for an Arizona team that started the season 6-2, that 4-0 October, but faded in November, losing 3 of 4 to finish, and come up with a way to win this game. Game they trailed 31-14. What a great way to springboard into the future, which will be led by this man.
You just get the sense he's going to make a play at some point.
Purdue brings pressure. Marcus Bailey stopping J.J. Taylor on a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 inside 5 minutes. I say led by this man, this very young man, Khalil Tate, just turned 19 years old. Trying to lead the comeback for the Wildcats. 1 year removed from 3-9 and 7-5. Driving here. Zips one sideline. A strike for a first down. Sean Poindexter.
Not many quarterbacks can make this sort of throw. He's rolling out to his right, but it's fitting it in the window with this much zip. That thing had a vapor trail on it. I mean, look at that thing.
Low throw dug out of there by Brown. Stays on his feet to the outside. Shows that speed. Bursting down the sideline for an Arizona first down.
And that's what makes Sean Brown so dangerous. He gets up to top speed in a hurry. So if you don't stop him before he gets started, he's going to hurt you. This is where they get in this, what they call an ace offset. They got both tight ends in. They'll run, but they've got play action pass off of this to either Wolma or Nunley.
Taylor spinning in a phone booth, collapsing in the backfield. Easy Chukwu and McCollum. A loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Inside 4 minutes now. Tate on the roll. Now steps up. Open man in the end zone. Brown. Arizona takes the lead for the first time since the first quarter.
And it all starts with the protection. Off the play action fake, Tate's got enough time. He works the pocket, and Sean Brown is all open in the back of the end zone. And this is what happens when you kind of start to half roll to the right. It gets the defense to think you're only going to throw to that portion of the field. And instead, it's a little throwback to Sean Brown, the leading wide receiver of this Wildcat team.
Khalil Tate, 17 of 23, 5 touchdowns and more than 300 yards now. Arizona takes the lead for the first time since the first quarter. Back in 30 seconds. Heck of a finish coming. So now it's on Elijah SIndelar's shoulders, and a Purdue offense that had its way for much of the first half, scoring all 31 of its points, has lost its way in the second. Knox motions out. SIndelar looks to the opening created by the motion man and completes it to open the drive with a gain of 7 or 8. Gregory Phillips yet another reception. 13 is a new Purdue Bowl record.
Almost halfway to his season total coming into the game.
30 all year. 13 tonight. 256 and counting. Second and short against pressure. He got rid of it. It's Phillips again. It's a first down to the 41.
Very similar concept. And what they're coaching SIndelar to do is pre-snap read the coverage. Right now they're playing more of a zone coverage that side of the field. So it's Phillips able to find the soft spot in the zone.
SIndelar steps up, zips one into coverage, and it's broken up by Jace Whitaker. Or the defense on Mahungu. Second down.
And they've gone to this a number of times, and Jace Whitaker has stepped up every time. In this case, the ball needs to be out a little bit sooner. Jace Whitaker has a beat on it. You can see him break on the football to get a hand in. At some point, you'd almost just rather have him go vertical. Keep running him towards that post safety where Whitaker has help. Instead, just throw it up. Let Mahungu make a play.
And Mahungu's 6'3". Not a lot of size in that Arizona defensive backfield. Underneath, broken up by Dane Cruikshank. Throw for Bryson Hopkins, the tight end, but Cruikshank sticks his arm in and makes it 3rd and 10.
And this is really where SIndelar's got to find a matchup that he likes. Jackson Anthrop's been the leading wide receiver for this team. He's in the slot. Phillips has been huge for Purdue so far tonight.
He's to the top of the screen. Mahungu not even in the game on this 3rd and 10. Arizona drops 7 into coverage. They're still able to flush him. He checks it down. Knox slips a tackle and gets a 1st down. DJ Knox, one of the biggest plays of the night for the Boilermakers. Breaking a tackle and running for 22.
Well, he wanted Gregory Phillips, who's going to hook up in that hole, but once SIndelar has to move, he has to go to his outlet in DJ Knox, and Knox has the ability in open space to break a tackle and get more.
First down at the 38-yard line. Pressure coming. SIndelar retreats, throws, incomplete. Off of Trevor Wood's hands. The defensive end had dropped into coverage, and the converted tight end didn't feel anything like one there.
Arizona brings a pressure, and it's going to be Wood who drops back out. SIndelar was waiting for the tight end to get across. He never saw the dropper. This could have been a disaster for Purdue. For Arizona, would think that Wood, as what I'm saying, tight end, would be able to catch that.
Maybe that's why he's a defensive end now. 2nd and 10. It's snapped by SIndelar. He picks it up off of bounce and completes it to Mahungu. That's as remarkable of a 1-yard completion as you'll ever see.
And this could have been another disaster for Purdue. You know, at times this season, I've seen Kirk Barron snap the football with a little bit of zip, maybe too hard or too much, but he's usually pretty accurate with it.
3rd down, 10. Arizona bringing pressure again. This time it's picked up into one-on-one. Mahungu makes the catch and fights in for the Purdue touchdown.
Absolutely unbelievable. And we talked about it at the beginning of the drive. Someone had to step up and make a play. It's been Anthony Mahungu at the end of the season for Purdue. And once again, he comes up clutch for the Boilermakers.
The go-ahead touchdown with 1:44 to go, snapping 21 in a row for Arizona. The Boilermakers back in front.
And this is the risk you take. They bring pressure up front, so they're one-on-one on the outside. And SIndelar has the wherewithal to buy time, fade back, and put the football up with enough air that allows Mahungu to make a play on the football.
Still, though, 1:44 left for Khalil Tate and the Arizona offense with 2 timeouts.
This is how legends are made in this sort of scenario. Under 2 minutes, the fourth quarter where the game's on the line, and you have to drive your team down and try to find a way to get a win.
High kick. Tyrell Johnson, another senior, trying to cap his career with a big moment. Hits the sideline and explodes across the 30. Starts the drive with a play action pass. Sets his feet, looks against the grain, and throws it out of bounds. Second down.
He hesitated. Can't hesitate, especially at this point in the game. You got to pull the trigger. He had Sean Brown on the sideline open, but he waited a little bit too long and allowed the coverage to sink underneath of him and take away the easy throw to the sideline.
Well protected here with the coverage downfield tight. Running out of time, and again throws it away. 3rd and 10.
Once again, he had Sean Brown. He was actually standing right over the ball in front of him. The coverage had dropped back underneath, and I'm not sure if Khalil Tate could see over the rush and over the offensive line, but he could have had an easy completion. Instead, they find themselves in 3rd and 10. Now, obviously, at this point in the game, you would imagine it's 4-down territory.
This is where defensive coordinators have nightmares with guys like Tate, that it can extend plays and make things happen even when there's nothing there. 3rd down and long. He tries to do just that. Lofts it into the arms of Jacob Thieneman for an interception. Brown had come open. Tate just missed it. And with 1:16 left, the Boilers take it.
Khalil Tate has been phenomenal all night until this point. It's going to be Thieneman. He's got eyes on Khalil Tate the entire way, playing the deep middle of the field safety. And as he moves outside the pocket, he does exactly what he's coached to do. Shadow the quarterback and make a play on the football. And this is just a poor throw by Khalil Tate. We haven't really seen him make a throw like that tonight. Maybe overthrew another deeper shot, but for the most part, he's been pretty accurate.
Well, he maybe was thinking Brown was going to keep running, and Brown throttled down.
How much fun has this been, though?
Yeah, really good.
Tremendous venue. The Bay Area Bowl, the Foster Farms Bowl. It's been phenomenal. Everyone here's been fantastic to work with.
And so that'll do it. They douse Jeff Brown, and they finish Jeff Brown's first season as head coach with a win in the Foster Farms Bowl, 38-35 over Arizona. It was a game of runs. At one point, Purdue scored 21 straight. And then Arizona scored 21 straight to take its first lead since the first quarter in the closing minutes. From SIndelar to Anthony Mahungu with what proved to be the game-winning touchdown inside the 2-minute mark. Go down to Bruce Feldman.
Thanks, Joe. Elijah, huge game tonight. You guys seemed to get into a rhythm, and then all of a sudden they came roaring back. What was the difference today on that drive at the end?
Well, we knew we had to score. I mean, we were down by 3. We didn't get a chance to, get what we wanted, and so we knew that was the last chance we had. We had to score. If we didn't, we were going to lose. And so this team has fought the whole year, and I couldn't be more proud of these teammates.
Anthony Mahungu has an amazing personal story. First heard about football in a comic book back in Paris, France, and then he comes up with a game-winning touchdown. He's now getting x-rayed, so he doesn't even really get a chance to enjoy this with you guys. What do you say about his performance tonight?
I couldn't be happier for him. He's one of my good friends. It's been such a privilege playing with him. What a blessing to him. I can't wait to go see him, make sure he's okay, but he's been a phenomenal player, and we couldn't be more happy to have him.
Thanks, Elijah. Joe, back to you.
All right, Bruce, heck of a game tonight. Really fun game to be a part of. We've got more coming up from Santa Clara. The post-game trophy ceremony on the other side of this break.